Okay, so let's talk about portals. And portals are your main mechanism for getting into a level and out of one. All right, getting into a level is easy. The starting points, they don't need much data. They don't even need artwork. And well, that same thing is true for exit portals. But then the exiting a level might require a certain amount of inventory, and that could be attained through either collecting an object in the level or defeating a certain number of enemies, and well, that's pretty much it. But you can, or just finding a portal, I should say, and then you can also make portals be trick entryways, as I've noted here in the documentation. So if the player does not have enough inventory, the portal will send the player someplace else, and that could be back to the beginning of the board. It could be it could appear like at the bottom level of the maze or something like that. So you can really mess with people. And if you're setting up your levels through tiled, all you need to do is create a rectangular object. So insert rectangle, put in here the type as portals, and then for starting, and then for the name, put in here starting point. And of course, that's going to match your dictionary over here. So we're in the levels dictionary for level 1, then you've got portals, and then there's that actual key name that matches its starting point. And I didn't mock up any artwork in tiled for the starting point, but you can see I did do that for the exit point here. So that's again, note the name exit, note the class portals, and then here's where that one is defined. And of course, you can see there's quite a lot more inside of there. But let's talk about the starting point to begin with. Appear from portal where. So there's no offset value for appearing at the starting point, which means that he'll basically just begin. Oh, that's flash. That's not tiled. He'll basically just begin right over here. And then you could, though, put in here like 400. So if 400 on the Y would be, we'd start like up here and then fall down, right? And that's where you'd put that in. The depth, the depth is at 0. That really I could just get rid of that and come to think of it, because there is no visual depth for an invisible object. And then make one way. This is just kind of an easy way for you to just have the kit ignore any other properties inside of there. So there's not going to be an exit back out through this particular portal. You could do that. You could have a starting point also be a gateway somewhere else. But make one way. Just again, the kit ignores any collisions with the portal. It's just a gateway in. So then we've got, let's look at up to platforms. All right. So this is going to be a portal that moves you around within the same level. And let's find that in tiled. It is going to be this guy, right? Actually, it's this guy right here. This one is the exit. This is your up to platform. So it's going up to this particular platform right here. And there's that name of it. Let's go ahead and select this one while we're at it. And that one says drop point. So let's ignore a few of these for right now, and then is gateway to level named. All right, and we're just putting in here level 1. All right, so that's the same level we're at. So the code knows that, oh, I don't need to actually transition to a new level. I'm just going to go put this guy somewhere else on the same level, and then enter new level at portal name. That's going to be your drop point. Right there. And to enter requires inventory named golden key, and that is, I keep going back to Flash, don't I? Gotta permanently, well, I had 2 Flash versions open, that's why I minimized one, and then there's another one that crops up. So to enter requires that key right there. There's the golden key. You can see how that's set up. So the collectibles, golden key, and amount of inventory required, so you only need one of those. And what happens when you do collect that key, it will show this animation right here. So this animation is, the Atlas file is gate, and then we're starting with gate 5. And let me just unfold that. So gate 5 looks like this. So it's going 5, 4, 4. You see it's starting to open. 3, 2, and then 1. Whereas the animation locked, which is what appears immediately when the game starts up, all the gates kind of lock down on you. All right, and to kind of delay that, you can just put in here the same frame for a few, for a little while, and then it occurs. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So everything locks up on you, and you can also kind of slow things down too by setting the frame rate kind of low. And so those are your options for animating the portals. And then we've got our pop-up image when touched. This one says get key, so that's going to be the key name in the image assets catalog. Let's go take a look at that one. So you can use artwork here that says get key. A little hard to read right now, and you can offset where that image occurs. So pop-up offset Y is going to be 20. I usually like to have the X in front of the Y. Is going to be 20 pixels upward, and then 30 over here to the on the x-axis. So kind of if your portal's here, it occurs a little bit over that way. And those can be negative values as well. And let me just show you really fast that you don't have to always use an image. You can pop up with a label instead. So pop up label when touched, and for this, you're going to use, this is the key name of the label in the dictionary over here. So your labels dictionary, and you can see that says exit locked. And then you can position, you can add an offset position to where that label occurs. So basically, if you decide to go with a label instead, then it's this label that kind of takes over, controlling the appearance of it, the lines of text that are in here. You can see it says the exit is locked somehow. You can have multiple lines inside of this array, and then you can choose multiple line sizes for the phone. And of course, these are options for every one of your labels. And then, let's see, wait to be enabled. So that just basically means that the label is not going to appear right away. It's going to wait for something to enable it, like encountering that portal. And you can choose how long you wait to show it on screen, close automatically after 1 second, fade in over this many seconds, so 1 second, 1 second. So total, this would be on screen for about 3 seconds. So it fades up, waits, fades out. And so a lot of options there. And that saves you from having to create artwork every time you want to give somebody some information about a locked portal, or you can also use pop-up labels when you encounter any sort of object inside the game. And all right, let's go back to where we were at before. So depth, we already talked about that. Collision body type is going to be a square or circle, and then you can resize the collision body by this much. Right now 1 is just 100%, so it's not resizing it. 0.5 would be 50. Debug body, again, we talked about in one of the other lessons. You can show the collision body on a per object basis, but I think it's just better to go over here to your debug settings and click that onto yes. And by default put that back to no. Then transition, so this is going to be the transition effect that occurs when you travel through that portal. And then affected by gravity is the portal affected by gravity, and of course that's going to be set to no, but you could have portals that are affected by gravity. Sound on entry, just use the same sound for both of these, so that's going to be the key name in the game sounds property list. And where is door open? And I put this in here as an array with just one sound, so it's only going to ever use this one sound. But of course, you could have multiple sounds inside of here, so you could have a random noise for unlocking. And then XP, are you going to award XP for going through the portal? If so, put that in there. And then you can also include in here show XP, which is going to be a Boolean value to float the XP upward above the portal. But that really only makes sense to do if you're traveling around within the current level, okay? Because as soon as you exit the level, who cares if your XP is floating above you? And then I would assume drop point is a pretty simple one. And oh, you know what? That's interesting. I must have copied the data from up to platforms for drop point, because really this drop point doesn't need we're just using it like the starting point. So I probably should just put this. Oh, I did put make one way to yes. All right, so I could have just deleted out all these properties. They're unnecessarily in there right now. But we are using the animation locked for those as well. So just keep that in mind, and then let's fold that back up. Exit. Again, we're using the same animation locked. This time though, what we're looking for diamonds. So once you've collected 4 diamonds, then the animation will occur. So it's different from the golden key we were looking for earlier. And I already showed you that. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else inside of here that we need to note. No, that does it. So just keep in mind if there is some extra little thing that you want to add to a portal, you can probably go over here into the objects dictionary and find it. You know, I think although I never tested it, I'm pretty sure you could have a portal fire a weapon at the character. But you know, what doors are firing weapons? So yeah, you can put in particle sequences and things like that as well. So anyway, all right, we'll move on to something